Welcome to our guide on becoming a great speaker. Did you know that public speaking is one of the top fears worldwide? In fact, a study by Chapman University found that 25% of people fear it more than death. Shocking, right? But here's the good news: you can conquer this fear and become an effective communicator. Imagine captivating your audience, leaving them inspired and eager for more. Sounds amazing, doesn't it? This video will reveal 6 powerful tips to help you master the art of rhetoric. You'll learn how to build credibility, connect emotionally, and craft persuasive arguments. We'll also dive into the magic of metaphors, the power of nonverbal cues, and the melody of vocal variety. Did you know that 93% of communication is nonverbal? That's right. Your gestures, facial expressions, and body language speak volumes. And here's another fun fact: using stories can make your message 22 times more memorable. So, are you ready to unlock these secrets and become a great speaker? Stick around and let's dive into the world of rhetoric. By the end of this video, you'll have the tools to captivate any audience. Let's get started. Chapter 1: The Art of Ethos, Building Credibility. To start, let's talk about ethos. Ethos is all about building credibility. Why should anyone listen to you? Aristotle, the ancient Greek philosopher, believed that a speaker's credibility is essential for persuasion. If your audience trusts you, they're more likely to listen. So, how do you build ethos? First, know your stuff. Research shows that speakers who display expertise are seen as more credible. A study by the University of Texas found that expertise increases audience trust by 85%. So, dig into your topic and understand it deeply. Next, be honest and authentic. People can spot a fake a mile away. Brené Brown, a researcher on vulnerability, says, "Authenticity is a collection of choices that we have to make every day." Show your true self, and your audience will connect with you. Dress the part. Believe it or not, how you dress can impact your credibility. According to a Princeton study, people form opinions about your competence in just a tenth of a second based on your appearance. Dress appropriately for your audience and occasion. Use credible sources. When you support your arguments with reliable data or quotes, you enhance your credibility. Mention studies, expert opinions, and real-world examples. For instance, quoting a Harvard Business Review article can add weight to your points. Show respect for your audience. Acknowledge their views and concerns. Respecting your audience fosters trust and open-mindedness. Remember, it's a two-way street. Listen as much as you speak. Share your experiences. Personal stories can significantly boost your credibility. People relate to real-life experiences. If you've overcome a challenge related to your topic, share it. It makes you more relatable and trustworthy. Lastly, be consistent. Consistency in your message and actions builds a reputation over time. Stephen Covey, the author of The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, emphasizes that consistency is the true foundation of trust. Chapter 2: Pathos Power, Tapping into Emotions. Now, let's move on to pathos, which is all about emotions. Emotional connection can make your message unforgettable. Maya Angelou famously said, "People will forget what you said, but they will never forget how you made them feel." Start with storytelling. Stories are powerful tools. A study by Stanford University found that stories are 22 times more memorable than facts alone. Share relatable and engaging stories to connect with your audience on a deeper level. Use vivid language. Descriptive words can paint pictures in your audience's minds. Instead of saying, "very angry," say, "furious." Instead of "very happy," say, "ecstatic." Vivid language makes your message more impactful. Appeal to shared values. Identify what's important to your audience. Do they value family, freedom, or innovation? Align your message with these values to create a stronger bond. This common ground fosters emotional connection. Employ rhetorical questions. Rhetorical questions provoke thought and engage emotions. For example, how would you feel if you achieved your dreams? Such questions make the audience reflect personally on your message. Use analogies and metaphors. These can simplify complex ideas and evoke emotions. Comparing a challenge to a mountain can convey struggle and triumph effectively. Analogies make abstract concepts tangible and relatable. Show empathy. Acknowledge your audience's feelings and experiences. Phrases like, "I understand how you feel," or "we've all been there," can create a sense of camaraderie. Empathy builds a bridge between you and your audience. Incorporate humor. Laughter can break down barriers and make your message more memorable. A well-timed joke or light-hearted comment can lighten the mood and make your audience more receptive. Just make sure it's appropriate for the context. Use emotional appeals sparingly. While pathos is powerful, overusing it can make you seem manipulative. Balance emotional appeals with logical arguments to maintain credibility. Your audience should feel moved, not manipulated. Chapter 3, Logos Logic, Crafting Persuasive Arguments. Now, let's talk about logos, the logic of your argument. Logos is crucial because it appeals to your audience's rational side. Aristotle called it the proof of your message. A well-structured argument can convince even the most skeptical listener. Start with a clear thesis. Your main point should be concise and easy to understand. For example, recycling benefits both the environment and the economy. This sets a clear direction for your argument. Use evidence. Back up your claims with solid data. According to a Pew Research study, 71% of people find arguments with data more convincing. Use statistics, facts, and examples to support your points. Cite reputable sources like academic journals or government reports. Organize your argument logically. Follow a clear structure: introduction, body, and conclusion. Within the body, use subpoints to break down your argument. This helps your audience follow along easily. Address counter-arguments. Acknowledge opposing views and refute them with evidence. This shows you've considered multiple perspectives and strengthens your position. For instance, while some argue that recycling is costly, studies show it saves money in the long run. Use analogies and comparisons. These can make complex ideas easier to understand. For example, comparing internet privacy to locking your front door makes the concept relatable. Analogies can bridge the gap between abstract ideas and everyday experiences. Be concise. Avoid unnecessary jargon and complex sentences. A study by the American Press Institute found that clear writing improves understanding and retention. Use simple language to convey your points effectively. Employ logical fallacies sparingly. Be aware of common fallacies like ad hominem attacks or false dichotomies. Using these can undermine your credibility. Stick to sound reasoning and evidence-based arguments. Repeat key points. Repetition helps reinforce your message. As the famous marketer David Ogilvy said, consumers do not buy products, they buy product benefits. Repeating benefits or key ideas can make your argument more memorable. Chapter 4, Metaphors and Magic, the Power of Figurative Language. Let's explore the magic of metaphors. Figurative language can make your message more vivid and engaging. Metaphors, similes, and analogies can turn abstract ideas into something tangible. Start with metaphors. A metaphor compares two unlike things directly, without using like or as. For example, saying, "Time is a thief," suggests that time steals moments from our lives. Metaphors can create strong images in your audience's mind. Use similes for clarity. Similes compare two things using like or as. They can make descriptions clearer and more relatable. For instance, "Her smile was as bright as the sun," paints a vivid picture. Similes are a great way to enhance your storytelling. Incorporate analogies. Analogies explain complex ideas by comparing them to something simpler. For example, a computer virus is like a flu virus, it spreads quickly and can cause damage. Analogies help your audience grasp difficult concepts easily. Be creative with language. Don't be afraid to play with words. George Orwell, in his essay, Politics and the English Language, emphasized the power of fresh metaphors. Avoid cliches and come up with original comparisons. Use personification to create empathy. Giving human qualities to non-human things can evoke emotions. For example, "The wind whispered secrets through the trees," gives the wind a human-like quality. Personification can make your descriptions more engaging. Engage the senses. Use language that appeals to sight, sound, touch, taste, and smell. Sensory details make your message more vivid. For instance, "The aroma of fresh coffee filled the room," appeals to the sense of smell and creates a vivid image. Vary your sentence structure. Mix short and long sentences to keep your audience engaged. A study by the University of Michigan found that varied sentence structure improves readability. Use short sentences for impact and longer ones for detailed explanations. Use metaphors to simplify. Metaphors can simplify complex ideas. For example, saying, "The brain is a computer," helps explain how the brain processes information. Simplifying concepts with metaphors can make your message more accessible. Avoid mixed metaphors. Mixing metaphors can confuse your audience. Stick to one metaphor per idea. For example, "He's a loose cannon with a ticking clock," mixes two metaphors and can be confusing. Keep your comparisons clear and consistent. Chapter 5, The Silent Symphony, Mastering Nonverbal Cues. Nonverbal communication can speak louder than words. It's often called the silent symphony of speaking. Your gestures, facial expressions, and body language can significantly impact your message. Start with eye contact. Eye contact can make you appear confident and trustworthy. According to a study by Cornell University, people who make eye contact are perceived as more competent. So, look your audience in the eye to build a connection. Use gestures purposefully. Gestures can emphasize your points. For instance, a study by the University of Chicago found that gestures can enhance listeners' understanding. Use your hands to illustrate concepts and add energy to your speech. Watch your posture. Standing straight with shoulders back exudes confidence. Harvard Business School research shows that good posture can even boost your own confidence levels. Stand tall and project self-assurance. Mind your facial expressions. Your face can convey a range of emotions. Smiling can make you appear friendly and approachable. According to the Journal of Nonverbal Behavior, smiling can increase positive audience perception by 43%. Be aware of your movement. Moving purposefully can engage your audience. Walking around the stage or room can draw attention and keep listeners engaged. But avoid pacing, which can be distracting. Control your breathing. Deep, steady breathing can help you stay calm and focused. It also supports a strong, clear voice. The American Institute of Stress reports that controlled breathing can reduce anxiety by up to 30%. Mirror your audience. Subtly mirroring your audience's body language can build rapport. This technique, called mirroring, can make your audience feel more connected to you. But be natural, not obvious. Use pauses effectively. Pausing can emphasize important points and give your audience time to absorb information. As Mark Twain said, the right word may be effective, but no word was ever as effective as a rightly timed pause. Avoid distracting habits. Fidgeting, playing with your hair, or tapping your foot can distract your audience. Be mindful of these habits and practice staying still. Dress appropriately. Your attire can influence how your message is received. Dressing well shows respect for your audience and boosts your confidence. As fashion designer Tom Ford said, dressing well is a form of good manners. Chapter 6, Vocal Variety, the Melody of Speech. Your voice is a powerful tool. Vocal variety can make your speech more engaging and dynamic. It's the melody of your speech, adding color and interest to your words. Start with pitch. Varying your pitch can convey different emotions. A higher pitch can express excitement, while a lower pitch can indicate seriousness. Studies show that speakers with varied pitch are perceived as more dynamic. Modulate your volume. Speaking loudly can emphasize key points, while speaking softly can draw your audience in. A study by UCLA found that varying volume can increase audience retention by 20%. Control your pace. Speaking too quickly can overwhelm your audience, while speaking too slowly can bore them. Aim for a moderate pace, and vary it to keep things interesting. The ideal speaking rate is about 150 words per minute. Use emphasis. Emphasize key words and phrases to highlight important points. This can make your message more memorable. As Dale Carnegie said, tell the audience what you're going to say it, then tell them what you've said. Incorporate pauses. Pauses can create suspense and allow your audience to digest information. A well-timed pause can be as powerful as the words themselves. Practice articulation. Clear articulation makes your speech easier to understand. Avoid mumbling and practice pronouncing words clearly. The clearer your speech, the more credible you sound. Warm up your voice. Just like athletes warm up before a game, you should warm up your voice before speaking. Simple exercises like humming or lip trills can prepare your voice for speaking. Use a conversational tone. Speaking as if you're having a conversation with your audience can make you seem more relatable. This approach can make your audience feel more engaged and connected. Watch your inflection. Rising inflection at the end of sentences can make you sound unsure. Use a falling inflection to sound more confident and authoritative. Avoid filler words. Words like and like can distract your audience and weaken your message. Practice speaking without them to sound more polished.